Preparations for war? Well, this is very concerning. Hey guys, Britt here. Welcome to End Times Bible Prophecy. A major European nation is preparing its hospital system for battlefield casualties. Meanwhile, other European nations are preparing their citizens and encouraging them to stock up on emergency food and medical supplies. They're issuing survival guides, even calling for conscription and warning of all-out war between Russia and NATO. Are all these preparations an indication that war is imminent? In today's video, we're going to talk about what's going on, try to make sense of what's about to happen, and most of all, talk about what it means for Bible prophecy. But first, in case you missed it yesterday, over on the Substack, we put out this article, The 3 Biggest Lies People Believe and Why They're So Dangerous and Destructive. So if you missed this and you want to check it out, make sure to head over there. If you want to make sure that you don't miss articles like this, because we put these out every Tuesday, head over there to brittgillette.substack.com, hit the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. If you do that, not only will you be notified of articles like this and videos like the one we're doing right now, but you'll also get this free book, 7 Signs of the End Times. That'll show up in the welcome email that you receive. Again, that you can sign up to the Substack for free to get these notifications, and you will get this book. This book is exclusive to subscribers of the Substack, so this isn't available on Amazon or anywhere else. The only way to get it is to subscribe over at the Substack. Again, it's free to do that. If you've already subscribed, just check the footer of today's email and you'll see a link to this as well. Then also, guys, just as a reminder, tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the live Q&A with Britt and Jenny. We do this every month, so this will be the one for September. So prepare all of your questions. We hope to see you there live. If for some reason you can't make it live, but you still have questions, leave your question in the comments on Substack. Please do it over at Substack, either on today's video or Mondays or Saturdays. Again, the link to the live Q&A is at the bottom of this article right here from Saturday, How to Prepare for Central Bank Digital Currency. So just scroll to the bottom of that. You'll find the link to that. A reminder will go out 5 minutes before the meeting, letting people know here is the link and they can check that out. But guys, if you have a question, again, leave it over on Substack. If you leave it on YouTube, I'm going to look for YouTube, Rumble. I'm going to comb through those comments as well, looking for questions. But there's a lot going on right now, and so if you want to make sure that it's seen, Substack is the best way to make sure that that happens. So we hope to see you tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the live Q&A with Britt and Jenny. So what are we talking about in today's video? A major European nation is preparing its hospital system for battlefield casualties. What am I talking about? Well, we have this right here from the U.S. Sun. It says France orders hospitals to ready for World War III and treat hundreds of wounded soldiers per day in less than a year. The plan assumes France will become a hub for battlefield casualties. And this is from Monday in the U.S. Sun. It says, France has put its hospitals on a war footing, ordering them to prepare for the day Europe is plunged into all-out conflict with Russia. Health bosses have been told to brace for a major engagement by March 2026, with chilling instructions to be ready to treat a flood of wounded troops from across the continent. And this has a number of pictures talking about this, but then it says, according to documents obtained by, and I'm probably going to butcher this, so if you speak French, bear with me, but according to documents obtained by Le Canard Enchaîné, the plan assumes France will become a hub for battlefield casualties, and that's a French newspaper, for those who are wondering. And so they received this data. There was a memo sent out on July 18th to the presidents of all these different health systems from the Ministry of Health in France, making these statements. So this is a couple of weeks old, but the news is just coming out about this because this wasn't public knowledge. It says it would need to absorb hundreds of injured soldiers from both its own forces and those of its NATO allies. And of course, that should capture our attention because they're essentially saying they expect a conflict between Russia and NATO. We're not talking about Ukrainian soldiers being brought into France to be treated, but NATO soldiers from all across the continent. So what do they foresee happening that would lead to this? It says the French Ministry of Health said the order was designed to anticipate, prepare, and respond to the health needs of the population while integrating the specific needs of defense in the health field. Again, what is it that they foresee that's coming? Well, here we get a little bit of a glimpse into that. It says the stakes could not be higher. NATO chief Mark Rutte has already sounded the alarm that Russia and China together could light the fuse on World War III. He laid out a nightmare scenario in July. Beijing seizes Taiwan while Putin simultaneously strikes NATO territory, possibly the Baltic republics of Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. That is most likely the way this will progress, he warned. In a chilling interview, he added they're now producing 3 times as much ammunition in 3 months as the whole of NATO is doing in a year. This is unsustainable. It says across the continent, the preparations for World War III are no longer hypothetical. They're visible on streets, in schools, in bunkers, and now hospitals. Survival guides have landed in homes from Sweden to Norway. We talked about that probably back in March, I believe it was, that we were seeing these. Warning people to ration food, stockpile supplies, and prepare for bombardment. Conscription is ramping up too, with Poland, the Baltics, and Nordics drafting young men and women into swelling armies, sparking calls for Britain to follow suit. In Norway, evacuation drills are already underway as locals rehearse fleeing west to escape Russian tanks. Across Europe, bunkers and barricades are rising. The Baltics are building a joint defense line bristling with minefields, tank ditches, and rocket systems, while Germany's 1,000-page Operation Deutschland maps out protected sites, bunkers, and plans to move 200,000 vehicles and 800,000 NATO troops. Even Britain and France are hardening their nuclear pact, signing a deal in July to coordinate strikes in the event of World War III. The first time Paris has pledged to use its nukes for an ally. So guys, this is really serious business, what we're seeing, these preparations that are taking place. Whether this is for a real war that Putin's going to launch or European powers are going to launch, or whether this is just the belief that they think this is going to happen. I'm not sure exactly what's going on here, but no doubt about it, they think that this is going to happen. And we went over this back in the spring in March and April, talking about what was happening. We saw headlines such as this one right here from the Economic Times. World War III soon. European Union tells 450 million people to stockpile food and supplies amid the risk. And we saw this, survival guides, mass evacuations, huge bunkers and conscriptions, how the whole of Europe is preparing for World War III. That's from back in March. We looked at this, Poland gears up for war. And we looked at this from CNN, Europe wants to ready its citizens for war. Will they listen? So guys, we see the European Union preparing for war. As I said at that time, I don't see this threat that they see. Here we have Russia invaded 3.5 years ago at this point. Am I doing the math on that right? 3.5 years ago, they invaded Ukraine, and they have yet to take even half of Ukraine. But we're to believe that Russia has the manpower and ability to launch a mass invasion of Western Europe. I think this threat is overplayed, but it doesn't matter what I think. What matters is what's in the minds of these European leaders. And they see the threat. And history tells us that many miscalculations have been made in the past, and miscalculations could be made here, which leads to war. So guys, what does any of this have to do with Bible prophecy? Well, we read in Matthew chapter 24, verses 6 through 8, when the disciples asked Jesus, what are the signs of your coming and the end of the age? Told them a number of things, but he said this right here from verses 6 through 8. He said, and you will hear of wars and threats of wars, but don't panic. Yes, these things must take place, but the end won't follow immediately. Nation will go to war against nation and kingdom against kingdom. There will be famines and earthquakes in many parts of the world, but all this is only the first of the birth pains, with more to come. Guys, I think this is wars and rumors of wars for now, but there is a scenario on the other side of the rapture, I believe, where this conflict does erupt into global war. And we see the outbreak of World War III in Revelation chapter 6. We see the world going to war, and it says there's war and slaughter all over the earth. And on the other side of that, the Antichrist rules over a global empire. So the idea, the conventional wisdom that humanity won't survive World War III and therefore it will never happen is false. It's incorrect. The Bible tells us there will be a World War III and humanity will survive that. So we very well could see any of these conflicts, but especially this conflict seems to be one that the entire world is engaged in that could blow up in a big way at any moment. And it shows us just how close we are to the tribulation period, guys, the 7-year tribulation. And that means the second coming of Jesus at the end of that 7-year tribulation. And that means the rapture of the church is even closer. So guys, this is just another sign we see indicating how near we are to the return of Jesus Christ. So let me know what you think. Leave your comments below. Again, tonight, make sure to visit us at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join us over at the live Q&A. Again, the link is located at the bottom of this article from Saturday over at brittgillette.substack.com. How to prepare for central bank digital currency. Scroll to the bottom of that. Just click on the link and you'll enter right into the Zoom at 7. And we will have that live Q&A. Again, if you missed that, the replay will go out, God willing, tomorrow in tomorrow's email. So if you miss it, don't worry, you still get to watch it. We'll record that. We'll send out the replay for everyone. Again, if you have a question, but you can't ask that question in the live Q&A because you can't be there for the live Q&A, just leave your question in the comments to either this article right here or today's video or Monday's video, but put it in the Substack comments to make sure that it's seen, especially as we get closer to that time, because we're getting close to that time right now. So I'll run out of time to check all of these different places to make sure that I'm getting every question there is. So that's the best place to leave those questions. So again, let me know what you think. Leave your comments below, and God willing, I'll see you on Friday.